Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I now make it a challenge to avoid making left turns as much as I can. I've almost gotten hit by cars multiple times here in Phoenix. Usually it's somebody making a left turn. And so one of the most terrifying things that one can feel, especially in a city, is a car barreling down at you and the driver not noticing anything is amiss and you have to run for your life. I can't tell you how many times I've felt that. It probably, in your body chemistry probably reacts to it as if you were being chased by an animal. That's how I want to describe it, right? Fortunately, we have evolved to deal with that stuff, just not with a car, right? So what I like to do is, I wish Google, see, if you look at all the options you have, I'm surprised they don't have one that avoids left turns. What would be really nice is, here's what I would do. And I am thinking of designing my own AI for this. Give each instruction on here a risk factor, right? So for example, let's say you follow these directions, head southwest toward Administration Avenue. That thing ought to have a risk score, if you will, right? Some number of probability of getting hurt, right? And each of these instructions could have a risk score on it. The left turns would obviously have a very high risk score. Anywhere that has an intersection, right? The freeways would probably have the lowest risk score. All right, now that each segment has a risk score, you could, in theory, search for the set of directions that has the lowest one, right? The only problem I can think of that model is that, especially if Google starts doing it, they're big, right? Everybody uses it, and everybody starts taking the segments that have the lowest risk score. That could cause the risk score to change, right? That's the only thing I can think of. But at the very least, you could rate the left turns a lot higher. So what I usually do is, I want to be making a right turn here. So I'll drag something here. I don't want to make this left turn either, so then I'll drag this guy. Yeah, this seems like a better alternative. Actually, I would go with, yeah, this one seems good. The only left turn is here, but this is out of a freeway. You actually have a stoplight. I know where this is, actually. And, you know, I remember when we started to relax our COVID rules. I was the first one back into the office when I was working for Washington Tech. And what really hit me like a ton of bricks is that it felt like a giant pay cut. Because now, instead of just teaching, which I really love doing, instead of teaching, now I had this additional job as a driver. And also, a lot of times, depending on the hours of the day, you don't have time to cook for yourself. You end up eating out more. And so it felt like a giant pay cut. And I am surprised that companies like Google would insist their employees go back to work. If you think about how many employees a tech giant like that has, if everybody returns to the office, they're probably going to run into people who get into an accident every so often, right? Probably every month they have employees out due to a car accident, I guarantee, right? That's how big they are, right? You would think they would see those costs, right? Not to mention the human cost of it all, right? And anyways, just a little food for thought there. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.